All right, ladies and gentlemen, so I just want to do a quick update. I know a lot of you were asking about it, and there's a lot of stuff going on online right now about what's going on with tomorrow's weather. So let's talk about it a little bit. So the bottom line here is a lot of the models have changed and gone a little bit farther south. The funny thing is the Canadian model, which I looked at several days ago, like I said before, had everything north and west and had a pretty good rainstorm for all of Connecticut, with the GFS at the same time saying we were going to get a foot of snow. So it was hard to reconcile those two things, obviously, because every other model was sort of in between. So where we stand at this point is the models have gone south a little bit. So in this situation, though, when the models go south, even 30 miles, it could mean the difference between 3 inches of snow or a foot of snow. Now, I'm not completely bought in. This is one model run, and the one model run that this happened with, everything just, forgive the phrase, snowballed after that. And all the other models seem to be coming in line somewhat. The Canadian model won't run again until midnight, but by that time it's going to be a little bit too late to make adjustments, at least tonight. I will be coming out with a new snow map. However, I do want to wait until tomorrow morning to see how things pan out. Right now, as it stands, if you look at my old map that I posted yesterday, I believe, it had 6 to 12 inches basically for most of the state. Maybe 50 miles inland, even less than that, we had 3 to 6 inches. With the storm going south, we absolutely don't have to worry about any rainfall. Before, we kind of did in the shoreline, because the closer that low pressure system gets to the shoreline, the more apt it is to bring in some mixing and a little bit of warmer air aloft, changing some of that to rain or a mix. That is not going to be the case at all, at least the way it stands now, because everything's going to be all snow. So whatever it happens tomorrow, wherever it happens, probably going to be 100% snow. Now, the timing of this is in flux as well, but I can tell you what I've been seeing as far as the timing is concerned. It looks like anywhere from, say, 5 a.m. to 7 a.m., maybe in some locations in northeast Connecticut, we might get closer to 8 a.m. So it's going to be somewhere in that range, let's say 5 to 8 a.m. We might even see a little bit of flurries earlier in the morning, say after midnight, but nothing that will accumulate. Then when we get into the morning, regardless of whether you're going to get, say, 3 inches or 10 inches, it will be snowing at a pretty good clip in most places, say between 8 a.m. and maybe 1 p.m. And then it'll start to leave the area. The system will leave the area between, say, 1 and 4, give or take some time, and maybe a little bit of flurries on the back end. But once we get to that point, the accumulation will pretty much be over. Now, if this thing tracks back to where it was 6 hours ago, we're going to see all the totals go back to what I said, so 6 to 12, and even because I was at the point where I was thinking about raising the totals for the shore anyway. So I think statewide 6 to 12 is what we would see if it moved back into formation like it had before. And with that statewide 6 to 12, I really believed at that point that we'd be seeing some areas that had, say, 14, 15, 16 inches. I really don't think that's going to happen. If it does and it stays on the current path, anybody that has that amount is going to be in the heaviest bands, maybe in southeastern Connecticut or somewhere around there. But that is still way up in the air. A lot of things are up in the air. It's weather. It happens. No matter how many models we look at, no matter how many times we look at them, things just change, especially in New England. You can go from a huge snowstorm. I mean, look at the other day, it was 60 degrees out, and then we're talking about a snowstorm here. So as it stands right now, if I do a new snow map, or when I do a new snow map, it's probably going to be, say, the northern third of the state looking like 3 to 6 inches. Below that, I'd say anywhere from 6 to 10 inches, maybe a couple spots a little bit higher than that. So that's where we are now. Goes farther south, the totals go farther south. Let's say it goes another 30 miles south. We might not get much at all, say in northwestern Connecticut, but southeastern Connecticut would get a decent amount of snow. So as it stands now, that's kind of the way things roll out. Higher totals in southern Connecticut. Recent shift, like I said, is not guaranteed. We may pop back. Don't forget, this is only one model run that's done this. So if you look at the entirety of what's going on, the last model run sort of made that shift. Now, at 12 o'clock, if you were looking at all the news outlets, including myself, I'm thinking I may need to raise totals for the entire state. I held off on that because I don't like to knee-jerk either way. I'm glad I did, because you never know what's going to happen, and indeed something did happen, or at least it looks that way for the time being. Conditions Tuesday morning, just so you know, even in the areas that don't get a ton of snow, I think we're going to see snowfall rates of, say, a half inch in the areas that don't get a lot of snow, to maybe 1.5 inches an hour. I think in the heaviest bands that set up wherever they may set up, we could see even 2 inches an hour. And don't forget, this storm is boom, it's in and out. You know, it comes in at, let's say, 5 a.m. It's out of here by 4 p.m. and that's in the northeastern part of the state. So we should see clearing tomorrow evening. However, I think tomorrow's rush hour, both rush hours may be affected depending on where you are, is how much the morning rush hour will be affected, and depending on where you are as well, how much the evening rush hour. So you got to look at it this way. Southwest, you're probably going to be more the morning rush hour. Northeast, you're probably going to be more the evening rush hour. That's the problem. But either way, you know, a lot of schools are canceling, and somebody asked about the schools canceling. You know, as an administrator, if I was an administrator for a school and I saw this forecast, it's not about the amount at this point. We could get 4 inches. It really wouldn't matter. It's just the timing. When it's starting at the beginning of school and it's ending at the end of the school day, that's not a good formula for good things to happen. So I think the schools are probably making the right decision based off of the timing of the storm. You know, if the storm was coming in tonight and ending by 6 a.m., maybe you only have a delay, if any. But again, timing is everything, whether it's with the weather or school delays and cancellations. So that's kind of where we stand now. I'm going to do a quick update tomorrow morning and adjust the maps if necessary. I might adjust them tonight depending on what I see with the HRR model, because that runs every hour. If I see something that's continuing that trend, I may adjust it tonight. But let's say right now, don't scrap that old map, okay? Because it could go back to that. But as it stands right now, when I'm talking to you right now at whatever time it is, 7:30, I don't know. As it stands right now, we're looking more 3 to 6 and 6 to 10. So from north to south. Other than that, I'll be back with you tomorrow morning. Hopefully this update was useful, and have a safe day tomorrow.